Let me tell you something. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make in life is no move at all. Just step back and get quiet. Because silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. It's pain turned into wisdom. It's discipline wrapped in patience. You see, there comes a point in your life when you stop chasing people. You stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, and you start focusing on you, your peace, your growth, your calling. You learn that not every battle is yours to fight. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every person is meant to go where you're going. And that's when it happens. That's when everything starts to shift. You ever sit in a room full of noise, people talking, opinions flying, chaos swirling, and feel like your spirit is telling you to just be still? That's not you being weak. That's your soul whispering, let them talk, let them spin, let them guess. Because silence, real silence, is a form of strength most people will never understand. In a world that tells you to react, to post, to clap back, to scream your side of the story, silence becomes a rare and dangerous discipline. People will call you distant. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed. And you know what? They're right. You have changed. You've grown. You've learned that peace is not found in proving points. It's found in knowing who you are without having to announce it. That's maturity. That's power. And most of all, that's freedom. There is a special kind of energy in the one who doesn't respond. The one who no longer feels the need to defend every move, explain every step, justify every decision. You start realizing that not everyone is worthy of your energy. Some people are just noise in your journey, and you don't have to entertain it. When you hold your tongue while someone tries to provoke you, that's power. When you choose not to respond to drama, that's growth. Silence isn't avoidance, it's intention. It's you choosing peace over ego. And don't let anyone mistake that for weakness. A person who can remain silent while they're being tested, judged, or doubted is a person who has mastered the art of self-control. And self-control, that's the foundation of every strong soul. Silence gives you clarity. When you stop talking so much, you start hearing more, especially from God. The world is loud. People are loud. But truth is quiet. It doesn't scream. It waits for silence to reveal itself. That's why people who constantly need noise don't find peace. Because peace lives in the quiet spaces, in the stillness of the moment when you stop chasing and start listening. When you're silent, you start noticing what really matters. Who really cares? What really deserves your time? And most importantly, who you are when no one's looking. That version of you, the one that doesn't need applause or permission, is the real you. And when you find that, you start building from a place of strength, not insecurity. You don't shout to be heard. You don't have to scream to be seen. Let your silence be your confidence. Let your calm be your answer. Because the ones who are truly strong never have to announce it. They carry it. In how they walk, how they breathe, how they navigate the storm without complaining about the rain. Weak people talk about what they're going to do. Strong people just do it. Quietly, consistently, powerfully. And when it's done, the whole world takes notice. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. That's real strength. That's what silence builds, a legacy, not a performance. There's a reason why they say still waters run deep. The deeper the soul, the less noise it makes. You don't see a storm inside a shallow puddle. But when the ocean is calm, that's when it's at its most dangerous. That's the kind of silence you want to build. The kind that's rooted, still, undisturbed. People will poke at you just to get a reaction. They'll test your patience just to see if you'll break character. But when you stay silent, when you hold that peace with a steady hand, that's when you earn respect. Not just from others, but from yourself. You begin to realize you don't have to respond to everything that doesn't align with your purpose. Silence makes people uncomfortable because it forces them to sit with themselves. When you stop engaging in arguments, when you no longer react to every disrespect, when you stay quiet in rooms where you used to scream for attention, it sends a message that says, I've outgrown this. And growth is silent. You'll never hear a tree grow, but one day its roots are so deep and its branches so strong that no storm can shake it. That's what silence does for you. It deepens your roots, builds your core, prepares you for seasons you can't even see coming yet. And when those storms come, you won't need to yell. You'll just stand, unmoved. And don't think for a second that people don't notice. They see your silence. They feel it. They talk about it. Some will be confused by it. Others will be threatened by it. But the right ones, the wise ones, they'll respect it. Because silence forces people to look inward. It holds a mirror up to their chaos. And when they can't pull you into their drama, when they can't shake your peace, they start realizing you're not like them. You're building something different. You're building stability, discipline, purpose, and that can't be bought or faked. It can only be earned in the quiet. We've been conditioned to think that strength is volume, that we've got to shout to be powerful. But silence is the language of the strong, the healed, the whole. It's the ones who've been through hell and came back standing that learn how to be silent. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they know saying it isn't always worth it. They've learned the value of letting things go, of walking away, of choosing peace over pride. And in that choice, they find freedom, real freedom, the kind that can't be shaken by gossip, disrespect, or misunderstanding. Silence teaches you patience, and patience is a weapon. In a world of rush, you become the one who waits, who watches, who listens, who moves when it's time, not when you're provoked. And when you move like that, you become dangerous in the best way. You're not emotional, you're intentional. You don't react, you respond. And when you do speak, every word carries weight. People start leaning in because they know when you speak, you mean it. That's the power silence gives you. It makes your presence felt even when you're not saying a word. And that kind of presence, that's real influence. And so don't let the world convince you that silence means defeat. It means you're rising. It means you're learning how to build without noise, how to protect without shouting, how to lead without demanding. It means you've stopped explaining yourself to those who never valued the explanation in the first place. It means you've discovered something sacred. You, the strongest version of you, the most dangerous version of you, the most dangerous version of you, the most dangerous version of you, the one who doesn't need to be seen to make an impact, the one who doesn't need to shout to change a room, because your silence, it speaks volumes. There comes a point in your life where you stop choosing noise and you start choosing peace. Not because you don't care anymore, but because you care too much about your mind, your heart, your spirit. And you start to realize, I can't afford to let anything disturb my peace anymore. You understand that protecting your peace is the most important thing you'll ever do. Because peace isn't just a feeling, it's survival. It's healing. It's what keeps you from breaking when life tries to crush you. And once you've tasted peace, real peace, you'll never go back to begging for chaos to love you. Peace doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you're not giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. It means choosing to walk away from what disrespects your soul, even if it's familiar. It means releasing the people who only show up to take, drain, and disappoint. When peace becomes your priority, you begin to subtract everything that doesn't feed your spirit. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing apologies. You stop answering calls that come with confusion. Because your peace is sacred. And once you start treating it like it is, life starts to change. Not around you. You start waking up with clarity. You start moving with purpose. You stop looking for validation in people who couldn't see your worth, even if you stood in front of them screaming. You no longer try to prove yourself in spaces you've outgrown. When your peace is your priority, you become unshakable. You start measuring success by your level of calm, not the amount of noise around you. And that's when you step into your power. Not the kind of power that dominates others, but the kind that centers you, heals you, keeps you grounded in the storm. People won't always understand this version of you. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you've gone cold, but they don't understand the cost of chaos. They don't know what it took for you to find this peace. The tears you cried, the nights you broke, the healing you fought for in silence. So no, you're not cold. You're just careful. You're guarded with your soul now, because you've learned that not everyone deserves to hold it. Some people only love you when you're hurting because that's when you're easier to control, but not anymore. Not now that peace sits at the throne of your life. Peace demands boundaries. You'll lose people when you start protecting your peace. But let them go. Because real love doesn't come with chaos. Real friends don't leave you drained. And if someone gets upset because you've chosen your well-being over their comfort, that's not your problem. That's a sign they never truly respected you. Your peace is not up for negotiation. It's not a group project, it's yours. And if someone is disrupting it, they've already told you everything you need to know. Protecting your peace means saying no. It means being misunderstood. It means walking away even when it hurts and doing it anyway. There is no greater act of self-love than guarding your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. The stress, the anxiety, the constant emotional exhaustion, that's not life. That's the absence of peace. And you have every right to remove yourself from anything that robs you of joy, of balance, of hope. You were not created to live in constant defense mode. You deserve mornings that start with ease, not panic. Days filled with focus, not drama. Nights that end in gratitude, not overthinking. That's the life peace builds. And it starts when you make it your number one priority. Don't wait for a breakdown to start protecting your peace. Don't wait until your body is tired, your heart is numb, and your mind is overwhelmed. Start now, before the burnout, before the breakdown, before the anxiety becomes your home. Start now. Your peace isn't something you find, it's something you create. Through boundaries, through choices, through silence, through walking away. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And once you begin, you'll wonder why you ever lived any other way. Because the things you thought you needed, the people you tried to keep, they won't matter when your soul finally gets to breathe. You're not here to carry what's not yours. You're not here to solve everyone's problems at the cost of your own peace. You're not here to be the emotional dumping ground for people who never ask how you're doing. Let that sink in. It's not selfish to protect your energy. It's necessary, because when you're drained, you can't pour into anything else. When your spirit is restless, you can't hear your own purpose. And when you're constantly consumed by everyone else's chaos, you forget what your own peace sounds like. Reclaim that, reconnect with that. Make peace your default setting again. Start showing up for yourself the way you've shown up for everyone else. Start giving yourself the grace, the time, and the stillness that you've given others so freely. You don't have to be available for everything. You don't have to explain your absence. Protecting your peace sometimes means disappearing, recharging, and coming back whole. Because the world doesn't need more people who are constantly overwhelmed. It needs people who are whole, who are grounded, who are healed. That starts with you. You can't change everything around you, but you can change what you allow in your life. And peace is a decision you make daily. So every time you're tempted to go back to what hurt you, remind yourself your peace is your priority. Every time someone tries to drag you into chaos, remember your peace is your priority. When you feel guilty for cutting ties, choosing solitude, or taking space, breathe deep and say it again. My peace is my priority. Because without peace, success feels empty. Love feels exhausting. Life feels like survival. But with peace, life blooms, the heart heals, and purpose thrives. That's the life you're meant to live. That's the standard now. Not chaos, not drama, just peace. Pure, unshakable, holy peace. There comes a time in your life where you realize something powerful. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves to know your heart, your dreams, your fears. You spent too long giving people the best parts of you while they gave you the bare minimum. You've allowed too many to come close who never earned the right to be near you. And now you understand that your presence is a gift. Your energy is sacred. Your time is valuable. And from this moment forward, you won't apologize for protecting it. People will act like they know you, but all they know is the version you allowed them to see. They were guests in your story, not authors of it. You don't owe them unlimited access to your emotions, your energy, your healing, your kindness. Some people only show up to drain you, to distract you, to feed off your light because they've never cultivated their own. But you're not a rehab center for broken people who refuse to heal. You're not a safe house for folks who keep setting fires in your soul. And you're done shrinking yourself to make space for those who don't even see your worth. You've got to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You've got to stop opening doors for people who only know how to walk in and make a mess. Some people confuse your kindness for weakness. They think your silence means approval. But what they don't understand is you're not being quiet because you don't know what to say. You're being quiet because they no longer deserve to hear your voice. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone gets to sit next to royalty. You're not being mean. You're not being cold. You're being selective. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've learned through pain and disappointment that access is a privilege, not a right. The ones who truly care won't need to constantly prove themselves, but they'll never make you question your place in their life either. And those who keep wounding you with their presence don't need another chance to cause damage. Let them go, because not everyone has the capacity to handle the weight of who you really are. And it's not your job to shrink just to fit into their fragile understanding. You are not a convenience. You are not a background character in someone else's chaos. You are not a fixer for problems that don't belong to you. The moment you begin to protect your access, you begin to protect your peace, your purpose, your destiny. You start seeing clearly who's there because they value you and who's there because they need something from you. And that clarity, that's your power. That's the moment you level up. Because boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They separate the real from the fake, the worthy from the opportunistic, the loyal from the leech. You don't owe your vulnerability to everyone. You don't have to share your story with people who haven't earned your trust. Some folks only want to get close so they can gather information, so they can use your honesty against you, so they can manipulate your softness and call it strength on their terms. But this isn't about being bitter. It's about being better, wiser, stronger. You're allowed to say, no, you don't get that part of me anymore. And the moment you say that, the moment you take your power back, sometimes you've got to sit with yourself and ask, why am I letting people who've done nothing for me take up so much space in my life? You'll realize it's not about how long they've known you. It's about how they've treated you. Loyalty is not about time. It's about consistency. And some people have been around for years and still never truly showed up for you. Meanwhile, others walked in, loved you with pure intentions, and respected your boundaries like it was second nature. That's who gets access. That's who earns the key to your world. You've been too available for too long, too understanding, too forgiving. But now, you've got to move different. Your love is rare, your presence is healing, your spirit is powerful, and you can't keep letting people mishandle it and then wonder why you feel drained. You are not obligated to entertain every call, respond to every message, show up for every event. You have the right to disappear, to distance, to protect, not to be rude, but to preserve your soul. Because once you learn how much peace comes from limited access, you'll never let just anyone back in. Watch how your life changes when you stop trying to be everything for everyone. Watch how your energy shifts when you're no longer pouring into broken cups. You'll have more clarity, more strength, more direction. And the right people, the ones who genuinely care, will understand your boundaries and honor your space. They won't guilt trip you. They won't manipulate you. They'll love you in your silence, stand by you through your growth, and never make you feel bad for choosing yourself. Because they get it, they respect it, and more importantly, they deserve you. So from here on out, you don't owe anyone a backstage pass to your soul just because they showed up once for the show. Some people were meant to clap from the balcony, not walk through the doors of your heart. Don't hand out VIP access to people who treat you like general admission. Be kind, be compassionate, but be selective, because not everyone deserves access to you. And that's not arrogance, that's self-respect, that's wisdom, that's power. And now that you know better, you move better. Sometimes life strips everything away